My name is TAHIRA. Yep, that's my legal government name, and I spell it with all capital letters to remind myself of the big blessings in my life. Making a living as a storyteller, as a musician, as a performing artist. And I'm here to give you tips and resources for you to live your life as an artist, thriving and not starving. Let's get into it. How do you make a living as an artist? How do you turn your passion into profits? How do you pay your bills and make art? Even, perhaps, ditch your 9-to-5? I got 2 things you could do to do just that. Some background as to why I think it is probable, even feasible, that you could do these 2 things I'm about to share with you and become a full-time artist and make a living from your art. All right, background. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I started out, I was working in insurance. I was paying life, accident, and disability claims. And I had just discovered the art of storytelling through the National Association of Black Storytellers. And after that introduction, after seeing Charlotte Blake Austin performing at the Please Touch Museum in Philadelphia, fire was starting to brim in me. And I wanted to be a storyteller. So I started studying and learning from the masters. And within 2 years, I left my 9-to-5. And I'm about to share with you how I did 2 things that propelled me into success. All right. And these 2 things I still do today, 20 years later, that helps me to be a thriving artist that totally eliminates this notion of a starving artist. So that's my background. Now, my why of doing this. Why do I share tips? And why do I share resources for artists to learn how to thrive instead of starve? I do it because I am like this firm believer that if artists who desire to make a living from their art, if they all got to do that, if we all got to do that, it would be a better place. I absolutely believe it would be a better place. The world we live in would be a better place if all artists were working, making a living, sustaining their life, and thriving from their art. So that's my why, because I think it's important to know a person's why. I think it's important to know a person's background. I really believe you should watch who you listen to when someone's telling you to do X, Y, Z. So let's get into the 2 ways that you can do that. Turn your passion into profits and maybe even ditch your 9-to-5. Reason number 1, entrepreneur skills. If you are a frequent viewer of my channel or this playlist, you know that I say all the time, artists, you're a business, you're in the business, you're in business. You have to know that you are in business. And business is that an entrepreneur is someone who solves a problem for a group of people and makes a profit out of it. Hopefully a profit out of it, right? Or is paid for it at the very least. And we solve lots of problems as artists. It's endless. Do I have to say why? If I got to make that point, how do artists solve problems, then this is not the right channel for you. Because we know, especially in the last 2021 and 2020, when all the world was in chaos because of a pandemic and still is, it was art that we turned to. It's numerous. We turn to art for a variety of reasons. So artists solve problems, right? And when someone pays you to do that, you're in business. So entrepreneur skills, I'm talking about skills needed to be in business. That's one of the ways that I have thrived as an artist. It's one of the ways I have been able to sustain myself, pay my mortgage by telling stories about Black people, paying my mortgage about writing songs about Black people. All right. So this skill set is something that can be learned, right? If you don't have it, you can learn it. And what am I talking about specifically around entrepreneur skills? So I like to describe it as relationship skills, really. My entrepreneur skills that set me apart and enabled me to thrive as an artist are things like this. I am easy to do business with. That is my motto of TAHIRA Production. We are easy to do business with. We exceed expectations. That looks like when I get an inquiry, whether that's a DM on Facebook or an email, I answer that within like 24 hours, whenever feasible. It's a benchmark, a customer service benchmark, if you will. People are not used to that kind of level of responsiveness from artists. And that set me apart. And that got people coming back again and again and sharing with their colleagues, word of mouth. Hey, this storyteller, this musician TAHIRA, she is really easy to do business with. That customer service benchmark of responding within 24 hours sets me apart. And word of mouth, no matter what business you're in, is gold. Gold, gold, let it rain, is gold. My responsiveness also is with regard to if I say I'm going to be at a certain gig at a certain time. If I say 30 minutes early, I'm usually there 45 minutes early. I'm making a plan to be there an hour early. Responsiveness. I am where I need to be when I need to be there for my client or the venue promoter or whatever the situation may be. That kind of responsiveness sets me apart. Because do you know that most artists are late? Did you know that? Whether you're a performing artist, whatever, I hear this time and time again. That, oh, I emailed them. Oh, I called them. Oh, do you know if they're still doing this? Like, they're not responsive. And because I am, it set me apart. And over time, I've been doing it for 20 years, over time you build a reputation. My reputation comes through the door before I come to the door. I don't have to show my receipts. Somebody else have already read my headlines, read my press clippings, figuratively and literally. With that type of responsiveness, it allows me to be a slight edge above the crowd. You know, that's a good book too, Slight Edge. Wonderful, wonderful book. But to be a slight edge above the crowd, it's not doing these like heroic things, but doing the small things consistently over time that made me stand head and shoulders above everyone else, right? Sometimes I think, honestly, like I don't think it's necessarily my artistry that has enabled me to thrive and to make a living, although I study my craft, I do my work, I am a skilled artist. But I don't think that's what it is. I really do think it is because I'm easy to do business with. And so many of the people I do business with are not in the business of art, right? So as a storyteller, mostly I do festivals and conferences, and the people who are organizing this, sometimes they're doing it because they love it. It's a hobby. It's on the side. They're retired, but it's not like what they do. The easier it is for them to do business with me, the easier their job is. They're not in the business of like working with artists. They don't have to put a lot of energy following up and calling, and they don't want to do that. They want to be able to do this thing, call you, get it done, and go on about their real business, right? So because I'm easy to do business with, and they're not in the business of really art promoting, it makes it easier on them. Allows me to be a slight edge above someone else. Just going the extra mile. Another great book is There's No Traffic on the Extra Mile. Great book by Ricky Minor. I would recommend that as well. And I mention these books, and often in my videos, I mention these books, different types of books, because I'm always studying to get better too. Always honing my craft. It's just not something, it is instinctual for me to be punctual and things like that, but I'm always studying my craft, always studying how I can better my business. So those entrepreneur skills sets me apart. So that's way number one that you can utilize in order to ditch your 9 to 5, turn your turn your passion into profits, and thrive as an artist. Second way to make money as an artist, pay your bills from your art, is to diversify the ways in which you're making money through your art. Have multiple ways that you do that. Example, of course, one way is you make art and they pay it. You know, you make a painting, somebody pays you for it. You show up as a musician, get paid for the gig. You know, show up as a storyteller, get paid. Of course, obvious one. But there are others, like teaching. And many artists do this, right? Teaching others what you do. You have a set of skills as an artist that people want to know. And it don't always have to be, you know, small children and only getting paid $25 an hour or something like that. You can set the parameters of that. You can teach a group. You can teach a masterclass. Masterclass teaching is on fire right now, especially in 2021. They even have like big stars, Alicia Keys, John Legend, Quincy Jones, like teaching their skills. It's recorded, teaching their skills where you pay for this library of content. So you can teach by creating a library of content that's recorded or that is live, right? And that's a different source of income than you doing it live, right? And even in performing, that you could do recorded, not just live, so that it lives, is evergreen, and people can purchase it, and you're making money while you sleeping, or you're making money while you're on vacation. You're making money passively. So showing up and doing art and getting paid for it, doing that through live or virtual, or teaching and doing that live or virtual, is two sources of income from your art that you can create. Another source is merchandise. Now, a lot of musicians, they'll have t-shirts, pens, whatever, but it doesn't even have to connect like directly to your art. If there's something that you constantly say all the time, you can make that into a t-shirt. Creating some kind of digital merchandise that someone can buy. But merchandise is another passive income and another stream of income. And when you have these multiple streams of income, when one of them gets disturbed, right, you have the other ones going. Like in 2020 and 2021, who did not have their live show up as an artist income disturbed? I did. Anybody else? Major. And I had to pivot and be flexible and all those words around creating content. And they said, I think it's Forbes, I said that in the next 10 years, the fastest growing business is content creating. And artists, we are primed to create content, right? So that's like the number one small business that's not only profitable now, but it is said that in the foreseeable future, for the next 10 years, content creating is going to be huge. So that's another avenue of bringing in income for yourself. So in summary, the two ways is entrepreneur skills. Set yourself apart about having customer service benchmarks that you meet. Begin to develop a reputation, and word of mouth is gold. Number two, diversify your sources of income. And you will find that when one thing gets disturbed, you have these other things that are happening. But I would simultaneously have all those things going on at the same time as best you can, so that it's not a matter of oh, I got to run over here and do that thing I used to do. But if you have those things going all the time, you have a variety of ways in which money is flowing to you. So go on. Try them out. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about these two ways? Does it feel like a heavy lift to you? Have you thought of ways that you can stand above the crowd and give yourself that slight edge? Comment below and tell me what you think of these two ways. Or maybe there's some other ways that you know of. Maybe you are already thriving as an artist. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for watching. If this content radiated with you, please like, share, comment, hit that notification bell. Let's keep the conversation going.